100 amazing facts around the world.
The sentence, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog," uses every letter in the alphabet. The only country to participate in every Olympics under its own flag was Greece. Delaware was the first state to sign the U.S. Constitution. Martin Van Buren is the only U.S. president that did not speak English as their first language. Recycling 1 ton of paper saves 7,000 gallons of water. Sea otters have a pouch under their forearm to store their favorite rocks. Cornflakes were invented to prevent masturbation. The largest scoop of ice cream weighed more than 3,000 pounds. A million seconds is about 12 days, while a billion seconds is about 32 years. There's a top-secret Starbucks for CIA agents. Giraffe tongues are nearly 2 feet long. Manny Pacquiao won world titles in the largest number of boxing weight divisions. He held titles in 8 divisions. Oysters can change their gender based on environmental conditions. They are born male but can change back and forth based on conditions. Solitaire is the world's most widely played card game. Apples, peaches, and raspberries belong to the rose plant family. A group of gorillas is called a shrewdness. Cats can't taste sweet things. The Japanese national anthem was composed by a German. The serial killer Harvey Gladman was presenting himself as a photographer for Pulp Fiction magazines to find his victims and take photos of them tied before they even knew that they were kidnapped. Voltaire wrote more than 2,000 books during his life. Mark Zuckerberg is red-green colorblind, which is why Facebook is so blue. Birds fly in a V formation to save energy. The falling dominoes scene in V for Vendetta involved 22,000 dominoes assembled by 4 professional domino assemblers for the 2-day shoot. A Kardashian is an unofficial unit of measurement that denotes 72 days of marriage. Alexander the Great was as tall as Napoleon Bonaparte. The last surviving soldier from World War I lived until the age of 111 years, 1 month, 1 week, and 1 day. The longest tennis match took place in the year 2010 at Wimbledon. The match lasted 11 hours 5 minutes, in which John Isner of the US beat Nicolas Mahut of France. The length of your forearm from elbow to wrist is the same length of your foot from heel to toe. When you dream, everything you see in that dream, you've seen before in real life. On average, it costs $30 per ton to recycle trash, $50 to send it to the landfill, and $65 to $75 to incinerate it. Amelia Earhart and Eleanor Roosevelt once ditched a White House dinner party to go on a joyride flight to Baltimore. There's a town in Poland where everything is decorated with paintings of flowers. Rhinotillexomania is excessive nose picking. 25% of search engine requests are related to sex. Lobsters communicate with their bladders. Lisa Kudrow was originally cast as Roz in Frasier, but was fired before it aired. The actual U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has a real website devoted to zombie preparedness. There's an island in Japan you can visit that's inhabited only by friendly bunnies. The last letter added to the English alphabet wasn't Z, it was the letter J. The longest recorded point in the entire tennis history took 29 minutes and featured the ball crossing the net 643 times in a 1984 women's match. 1 ton of recycled cardboard saves 46 gallons of oil. The first person to perform a successful C-section in South Africa was Dr. James Berry, a doctor who was actually a woman. A buttload is a real measurement of weight. Owls can't move or roll their eyes because their eyes aren't round. They are elongated and held in place by a bony structure in the skull. The night Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, he had a bodyguard, but he had left his post to have a drink at the Star Saloon, next to Ford's Theater. Ketchup was sold as medicine in the 1830s. Prior to the 20th century, squirrels were one of America's most popular pets. The Liberty Bell was actually made in the same place as Big Ben in London. The Whitechapel Bell Foundry made both bells and is one of the oldest, privately owned bell makers in the world. 70% of men aged 18 to 24 visit a porn site at least once per month. 2.5 million plastic bottles are thrown away every hour in America. There's only 69 years between the Battle of the Little Bighorn and the dropping of the first atomic bomb. Hugo Boss designed and manufactured the uniforms for the Nazis. President James Garfield could simultaneously write in Greek with one hand and Latin with the other. He was ambidextrous and taught both languages while attending college. In 1928, the first automatically sliced commercial bread was produced in Missouri. The Statue of Liberty was actually a gift from the people of France to the United States in 1886. In 1967, the Beatles almost bought an island off the coast of Athens, Greece, with the plans to build a utopian community. There was an outbreak of head lice among the cast of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. There are now giant pigs as heavy as polar bears. The kangaroo mouse never needs to drink water. Greenland sharks don't reach sexual maturity until they're 150. The longest tiramisu ever measured was 897 feet and 3 inches. Lobsters do not have blood like vertebrate animals. The liquid found in their body that acts as blood is called hemolymph. It is colorless and turns blue when exposed to air due to oxygen reacting with the copper in the fluid. Incredible Hulk was originally supposed to be gray. A group of unicorns is called a blessing. The name of Lake Shargagajojman Shogagakchabunagungdamog is Algonquin for, I fish on my side, you fish on your side, and nobody fishes in the middle. Armadillos almost always give birth to identical quadruplets. Research has shown that most mammals on average live for about 1.5 billion heartbeats. Larger animals have slower heartbeats, so they live longer. Radioactive particles from the Cold War were found in the deepest parts of the ocean. Greeks and Romans used to use crocodile dung as skincare. Expiration dates for bottled water is actually for the bottle, not for the water in it. An elephant can actually die of a broken heart if their mate dies. They may refuse to eat or lay down, shedding tears until they starve to death. Crocodiles can hold their breath underwater for up to 2 hours if they need to. The colder the water, the longer that they can stay under, because a cold crocodile uses less energy and oxygen than a warm one. Baby hedgehogs are born with quills, but they are soft and flexible. Google was originally named Backrub. During the filming of Wolf of Wall Street, actor Jonah Hill snorted so much fake cocaine, which was vitamin D powder, he ended up being sick for 6 weeks with bronchitis. August 13th is officially Left-Handers Day. Gangsta's Paradise is one of the few Coolio songs to not feature any profanity, because it was the only way that Stevie Wonder would authorize the sampling of his song, Pastime Paradise. Kentucky produces 95% of the world's bourbon. The displaying of the Mona Lisa has caused its colors to become quite faded. A sister painting made by a student of Da Vinci at the same time was kept in storage and is much more vibrant. During the first 3 years, a child's brain triples in weight and establishes about 1,000 trillion nerve connections. Sea scallops have about 60 eyes. They can be a bright blue color and help the scallop detect light, dark, and motion. Daniel Craig used to sleep on park benches when he was a struggling actor. William Shakespeare is credited to have contributed over 2,000 new words to the existing English dictionary we all use today. The most common number of dimples on a golf ball is 336. The Tanganyika laughter epidemic lasted for around 6 to 18 months. The China Highway 110 traffic jam lasted for more than 10 days. Cars moved at the speed of 0.6 miles per day. Forbes estimated Scrooge McDuck's wealth to be around $65.4 billion. The guy that voices SpongeBob SquarePants is the narrator in Powerpuff Girls. Ants don't have enough mass to die on impact, no matter the height. There are over 200 dead bodies on Mount Everest. A hummingbird weighs less than a penny. Half of the world's population live on a staple diet of rice. About 75% of the brain is made up of water. The human brain contains approximately 100 billion neurons. In 1386, a pig was executed for the murder of a child in France. Charles Osborne, an American, had hiccups for 68 years. Rats and horses can't vomit. There are more people who are obese than are starving in the world. 30% of Earth's population is obese, and 5% of these people die of this disease. Coral reefs only cover less than 1% of the seafloor, but support up to 1/4 of known marine species. On average, less than 20 people are killed by sharks per year, but people kill over 11,500 sharks per hour.
World Top 20.
Thanks for watching.
For more videos, please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel.
We wish you a fruitful day ahead.
And remember, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.